Hey guys. So let's get back to it. What is a transaction register? So a transaction register is also called cash disbursements journal or check register. So a check register is what it is kind of commonly called. That's what I know. I always hear it being called. So it is a journal used to record all of the checks, cash payments, and outlays of cash during an accounting period. A check register usually has columns that include the dates, check number, payee, account names used, and the credit and debits associated with the transaction. So like I had mentioned, checks, debit cards, transaction registers, these are all ways for you to track your money, make notes, and know what's happening in your accounts. Okay, so just because you want to know, because you get audited for tax reasons, all of these things. So all of these are good ways to keep track of your cash. Okay. Okay, so here is a look at a transaction register. Okay, so you have your number or code. So for this one, it's a sample check. So it didn't really have a number. So that's where you would put your check number. Okay, so you would put your dates here. So here we have January 5th. Remember that deposit from Aunt Sue? That's the transaction description. Deposit from Aunt Sue. Okay, so 1/5. So January 5th, 2010, they got a deposit from Aunt Sue. It's not a payment because we got a deposit. It's a deposit amount of $50, and that gave us $50 in our account. Okay, so here was that sample check. Again, it was on January 5th. That was when we did our Sports Illustrated magazine, our subscription. It was $30, and we subtract it from our balance because we're paying that. So now we have $20 left, say. So I can open my check register, my transaction register, and I can go to my last entry and I can see how much I have in there. That way I don't have to go through, I don't have to add a bunch of things, I don't have to subtract a bunch of things. I can look right here and know exactly how much money I have in my checking account. Okay, that's the purpose of this. That's what you want to keep good records. You want to keep up on this. You don't want to do this once a week. You want to do this every time you use your checking account. Okay. Okay, so now let's take some time to work on the worksheet. You guys will work on it on your own first, and then we'll come back together and fill out the checks as a class, okay? Okay, so let's look. So these were the 5 entries on our worksheet, okay? So let's read them first. So there's 5 entries and 3 checks. So what do we think? Right, only 3 of these are going to need checks written for them, okay? So let's read the first one. June 5th, 2020. You bought dinner from Pizza Hut for you and your family. You bought 5 pepperoni pizzas, 7 large Dr. Peppers, and 4 breadsticks. The total was $97.52, and you paid with a check. What do we think? Yes or no? Yes, that needs a check. It says right there, you paid with a check. Okay, so the first one needs a check. Okay, so June 7th, you used your debit card to order a new pair of Nike shoes online from Shoetown, USA. Shipping takes 7 to 10 days. The total was $85 plus tax and shipping. Does that one need a check written? No, we said we used it with our debit card. That's right. Okay, June 9th, 2020, you had a neighbor mow your lawn. He charges $10 an hour. He worked for 2 hours. You paid him with a check. Is that one a check? Yes, it says we wrote him a check. Perfect. Okay. And then June 12th, 2020, your grandma gave you $75 check for your birthday. Does that need a check? No, grandma gave you money. So what does that need? A deposit slip. Perfect. Okay. June 13, 2020, you bought a bag of dog food, a new toy for your dog, and a new collar from Petco. The total was $43.18. So that one really doesn't tell us. We could have used our debit card, but it doesn't say we used our debit card. Does that one need a check? Yes, that one needs a check, and Grandma doesn't. I forgot to click the button. Grandma doesn't need a check. Okay, so those are our 3 checks, okay? So let's look. So for the first one, let's go back to June 5th, 2020. Who's it going to be paid to the order to? Pizza Hut. Perfect. The date, June 5th, 2020. What was the total cost? $97.52. What is the memo for pizza? And then we sign it. Perfect. Okay, let's look at the next one. June 9th, 2020. Doesn't really say who's our paid to. Our neighbor, let's say his name's John. So John neighbor is the paid to the order. 10.00, $10. Oh, excuse me, he worked for 2 hours, so it'd be 20.00, $20. And the memo is going to be lawn mowing, and then we sign it. Okay, and then the last check, June 13th, 2020, paid to the order of Petco, $43.18, $43.18 for pet supplies, and then we sign it. Okay, so all of those. Okay, so now let's check what we learned. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to go back a little bit. There was one thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk about. So on this sample check, right here and right here, okay? And then when we go forward, right here and right here, okay? So this first one right here and right here, that is called a routing number, okay? So what that is that a routing number gets you to the bank that you're banking with, okay? So this routing number would go to Billings National Bank, okay? So when all of our checks get sent in, they know any that have that routing number goes to Billings National Bank, okay? And then this right here is our account number. So this part of the check gets you to the bank. This part of the check gets you to your account, okay? So on here the same way. This part gets you to Hills Valley Trust and Company Bank. This part gets you to your account, okay? So that was just something that I really quick, I kind of passed over that real quick. So I wanted to tell you guys that. So let's go back. Okay, so we are going to see what we learned, okay? And so with this, it's going to be a little quiz. It's just going to kind of check, and it's going to go over everything that we just talked about. So the top 5 will be matching the parts to the check. And then the bottom ones will be a fill in the blank of the vocab that we learned, okay? All right, guys. Well, you guys did a great job. And I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.